Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Welcome to a very special episode of Chef Boyardee. I'm your host. We'll go with Chef Boyardee because we like it. Chef Boyardee because we like it. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep my own eye on the chat. Silent mode is a lie. Anyway, gang, not gonna lie, we're phoning it in today, baby. Something real simple, real nice and easy. The theme this week is instant. So what could be a better week to just play it chill, play it cool? Except this is the one that I probably put the most work into. I've done stuff off camera. Yeah, terrifying for me too. Where did I put that? Anyway, I'll show you later. I actually grinded my own beef because today we're following along with the man himself, Bob. Today's recipe is brought to you by the Bob's Burgers Cookbook, specifically the one from season 2, episode 9, Beef Squatch. We're doing the poutine on the Ritz burger. Now, I grinded my own beef. I was going to make my own buns, but then I tried one and it was bad. And you know, I have such little street cred already, so I didn't want to show you guys that. Sorry. But I know what you're asking. Joe, where does... Wait, I just said my real... Forget you saw that. I know what you're thinking, though. Where does the instant part of this theme come in? Well, I have a pot here, and I'll explain my setup here in just a second. But I have a pot here that we're going to use to make gravy, because poutine requires gravy. And we're just going to be using these little packets of instant gravy. Little tip for you guys out there. Actually, I don't even know if it's going to work. But I've done this before, using these gravy packets, and I found them a little lacking. Which, you know, obviously, it's gravy in a packet. How good can it be? But today I'm hoping to enhance that because, you know, the rest, you mix it with water, you got gravy. But this time, I've got a mixture of water and some beef stock that I'm hoping will make it beefier. On top of making the burgers, we are also making our own fries. Actually, that's good. We're making our own fries. I've cut 4 big russets into these fry shapes and rinsed them repeatedly to get all that starchiness off of them. I'm waiting for my oil to heat up. I bought a thermometer for this one. So if you don't have one, you'll have to definitely factor that into your cost analyses. But yeah, oil takes forever to heat up when you're just doing it in a Dutch oven and you're terrified of burning your house down. Well, not my house, I rent, but somebody's house is getting burned down. I'm just going to turn this up. We'll see if the house burns down. In the meantime, this little freaky setup I've got here. So again, like I said, I've used this stuff before, and my biggest problem with it is that it always clumps up. And also, every pot I own, and don't own, but steal, has a non-stick coating. So rubbing a whisk around in there, it's just not a look. I don't own a fine mesh sieve, but I do own a cheese grater with a very fine side to it. So I'm just gonna drizzle this here dried gravy into the old grater, and we'll see if it works. And I mean, you know, barring all that, I can just whisk it. Non-stick coating be damned. gosh. I can see that I have some non-believers out there right now. Well, listen, we won't know unless we try. Right, guys? Right? Who's with me? This is the beginning of a new era of cooking. I gotta say, this is working out perfectly so far. Anyone who wants to tell me otherwise can disagree, because that's okay. That's what the internet's about, you know? Disagreeing with someone, but that being okay. Am I right? Gosh, I really tried to have my oil ready by the time I started, but you know, for those of you watching live, you might realize it is a Sunday, and Sunday, now the liquid's already in there. So it's immediately going to get saturated with funny juice, and then it won't plump up. But I've already got stuff in my pot. So right now we're trying to get our oil up to 325. We're going to be doing, I don't know, it's just, yeah, we're going to be doing like a par fry first. So 325, we're going to cook the inside pretty much all the way through. Then we're going to turn the heat up, get the oil up to 375, and get that nice crispiness effect. And I mean, at least that's what I'm told. That's what I've heard on the grapevine. And use this to kind of press this dry stuff through. Now, if you want to make this recipe at home and you're not an insane person, you could just use a sieve or a mesh strainer like you use for your powdered sugars. But you know, I am the king of foresight, and I'm definitely not just playing literally everything by ear and hoping it all goes okay. I keep telling people that I'm trying to do a cooking show on the weekends, and they always are like, yeah, I looked at it, but I don't want to watch an hour-long video of just you cooking. You need to edit that down. But what I have to say to all those people is editing is hard and time-consuming, because if you think about it, editing is just me watching the stream over and over again, trying to figure out what parts to cut, which parts to keep. And you know, me, I'm hypercritical, so I would probably like to cut most of it. Guys, I said why I'm not using this. I only have non-civ pots, and I only have metal whisks today. Metal whisks, they should be nylons. How does that work? Alright, chat, how's your guys' weekend going? Well, very nice. Is there any significance attached to the wooden whale that I'm unaware of? assuming you have good reasons, good intentions. Oh, gosh. You know, this is also an exciting week because I finally got myself a power mill. So now I can freshly write my pepperoni numbers. That would actually say, I assume it was kind of implied based on like the book and the show it's referencing, the face of a burger. Okay. Alright, we'll get this guy started. Our oil is almost at 10 finally. It does have this gravy powder in there, but you know, that's all just flavor. Double check how I'm supposed to fry this. I'm trying to do another clean episode. I think that's just because my family will occasionally check this stuff out. But for 5 minutes until. Alright, oil is at 10. Just going to turn this back down because obviously just for maintaining, you don't need to heat it up anymore. Alright, so I didn't actually make fries. I've made homemade fries before, but it was when I was like a teenager living in my parents' house. So like obviously the stakes were lower. So I didn't care if I burned that down. It wasn't my security deposit. But now I have a security deposit, so pray for me. Okay, we'll let that first batch go for a little bit. As you can see, I've already got a pan here with the wire rack, very important. The house is still here, small miracles. So we'll give that about 5 minutes. Honestly, I'm just gonna, because once this gravy is done, I don't want it here cluttering up my space. So I'll probably, oh my gosh. Might have added too many potatoes. My temperature is plummeting. The hell is this thing? Water. I gotta say, this gravy mixture is a lot richer looking than when I previously made this stuff. When I would use this stuff before is because I wanted to make my own famous bowls at home. So it would just be like, you know, powdered mashed potatoes, the powdered gravy, frozen popcorn chicken, you know, nothing but that gourmet stuff. you talking about pee or water? This is what we in the biz call agitating, I think. Oh my gosh. Just another day, another dollar. Except I'm pretty sure I've exclusively lost money on this deal. Because, if I just wanted a poutine burger, I would have just bought the ground beef. But because it's for you guys, I was like, nah, let's put in the effort. Let's grind beef. Let's make buns. And oh no, buns are terrible. I am, so I decided I wanted to look more professional. So I put my soft drink in my mug. It's like what Jimmy Fallon does, so he can secretly drink whiskey while doing the Tonight Show. Good Lord. What the hell is that? I think there's an ear in my gravy now. I don't know where it came from. I think it might have just clumped back together. Ew. Fireball. That's horrendous. Oh my gosh. Golly gee willikers. Anybody out there like to eat the skin off of gravy? All right, good man. Trying to think. Yeah. I recently watched that show, The Bear. Did I mention that? The big applesauce guy, rolling the pouch. You know what? And sorry if I mispronounced your name. Marshall, was it? Marshall? Tell you what, man. If you like the applesauce that comes in a tube, live your best life. Because honestly, it's how astronauts eat applesauce. So are people really going to say they know better than astronauts? I just, like I said, this brings me $0, and most of the time when you try to outsource editing, people expect like some sort of compensation, which is weird. So I can't really offer any of that. Gee willikers, I can't even like offer them a bite because I don't know anyone who edits near me, so it'd have to be like an online transaction. No, I got it. It's right here. I think it's in the other room somewhere. Okay, actually. Does that count as limp? Is that limp enough? I'm gonna say yes. Because Because also these guys are starting to brown on the edges, and I don't think we necessarily want that yet. Like, we're not really so much trying to cook the outside, it's just like get the inside started. Hence the lower temp. Honestly, if there's one recommendation I could make, it's just get the wire rack. All right, now what we're gonna do is wait a little bit for that temp to go back up. Yeah. What was that, Nanny? Nanny the dishwasher. I will forever love that Matty Matheson, who, as far as I know, is the only one on that cast that like legitimately knows how to cook, and he's the screwball who isn't allowed in the kitchen. Let's see, what's some other stuff I can talk about? I've got this mix here for tossing the fries in once they're eventually done. It is 2 tablespoons pepper, 2 tablespoons paprika, and 2 teaspoons of cayenne. It sure smells like a seasoning that would go good on fries. I have not seen The Last of Us. You know, it just seems weird because The Last of Us as a game was already just a movie you played through. So, you know, it's not like Mario where you're like, oh, there's a whole world. I wonder what that looks like. It's The Last of Us that they show you everything. They don't play anything close to the chest. So, I don't know. It's like, I don't got a good analogy, sorry. As for where the meat is, I guess, I forget, do you want to keep beef cold or do you want it room temp before you make it into burgers? It's not a scary game. You have guns. Just shoot whatever's scaring you. All right. Well, I guess I couldn't find the lid for this bowl, so I just plastic wrapped the hell out of it. But there, let's see here. Yeah, there is the beef. It is equal parts chuck roast and boneless short rib. Yeah, maybe I'll just go ahead and start weighing out some patties. Because that oil still needs to. Sheesh, buddy. All right. All right, question for the chat. How big of patties we doing? The recipe, you know, is just like, oh, quarter-pound patties. But, you know, we don't have to follow the rules. We could do a third or even a half pound. I'm going to draw the line at half pound, though, because anything larger than that's kind of just stupid. Not 2 quarter-pounder stack. A double quarter-pounder. Actually, I blended this on Thursday. And, you know, I couldn't just be like, leave it in the bowl and not try it until Sunday. So I did do 2 quarter pounders, just like on some bread and ketchup. And oh, it was something. It was something. I'm looking forward to getting that covered in gravy and cheese curds. Jeepers creepers, guys. Yeah, Mr. Producer is still asleep as far as I'm aware. Although sometimes when he does come out of his room and I'm like, geez, you're still asleep, he's like, nah, I just lay in bed for hours. You know, honestly, on the one hand, I get it, but good lord. Alright, quarter pound. Should I just prep enough for the one to make for camera, or should I make enough? Maybe not all of this. I mean, a man can only eat so many burgers in a day. Oop. Oop. I gotta say though, this gravy with the added beef stock is looking pretty nice. Don't say anything that's undone with the meat. Like anything at all? I mean, I'm fine with that. I was just worried, like, watching a guy silently cook. It's kind of weird. Please, for food safety. Also, don't anything. Don't touch anything. Now, don't worry. I have my guys come in and just drench this place with disinfectant. You know, just one of the benefits of being a big time celebrity chef. All right. Would you guys eat beef tartare if you had the opportunity? Let's just. No, it's fine. I'm allowed to touch this. I'm just draining the juice box. Honestly, foodborne illnesses aren't real. All right, I'm gonna make one more patty and then we'll put a pause on this because I think my oil might be ready then. All right, so what's your guys' favorite scene from Lion King 1.5? I personally really enjoyed the part where Timon is like walking dramatically as the music plays and how he's gonna set out and find his destiny, but then like he gets far away enough from home that no one can see him, and he just starts breaking down crying. Because, you know, it's a good metaphor for what real life is like, you know? You set out, you start off all strong and confident, and then you look at the big empty world around you and you just melt down. All right, those will be delicious burgers in just a minute. Let's dry off our hands in the hot oil, huh? Alrighty. Still a little bit soupy. Yeah. That will be fantastic on some fries later with cheese. I was at the grocery store looking for cheese curds, if you can imagine it. And I walked around this whole store, and it was one of the big ones. This isn't the local mom and pop shop. I went to the big store that has like the deli. It's like, oh, we got a deli, we got a seafood market, we got a bakery, we got everything you could ever want. I went there because I wanted to be sure they would have everything I need, and they didn't even do that. I mean, they probably did, but. Honestly, if you don't like your fries crispy or finished, it's not a bad way to have them. Oh my god, I got so much dust everywhere. Oil's not quite to temp yet. I thought that maybe I would just focus on the fries first and then do everything afterwards because I was so worried about like being distracted with hot oil. But now I realize how boring it is. You could watch paint dry and it'd be more engaging than this. But that gives us time to form our patties, I guess. So let's do it. The trick to good burgers is you certainly don't want to overwork the meat. Also, like I'm looking at recipes online. The second I see someone like making burgers and I see an egg come out, I'm out. Well, I guess I should clarify. Eggs on burgers, fine, pretty good actually. But when you like crack an egg into your beef, it's like, what is that for? What are you doing, kid? I don't know, man. I just forget what I think next week's theme is Icelandic. I'm pretty sure they eat a lot of fish in Iceland. It's an island, surrounded by ocean. All right, chat. Favorite fishing mini game? Go. Mine would probably have to be. Ooh, actually, you guys remember that game We Play? I think it was. It was one of those games that you got when you bought a second Wiimote for your Wii, and it just had a bunch of little mini games on there. One of them was just fishing, and it was very epic. Especially if you liked just sitting there holding a Wiimote waiting for a darn fish to stop getting spooked and just bite onto your hook. It's swear my oil's been at 320 forever. Oh. Yeah, I never finished my shopping story. What makes Final Fantasy 15's fishing so good, huh? Explain yourself. It's an interesting discussion. What qualifies as the perfect difficulty for a mini game? Because, think about it, like, let's take lock picking in Skyrim, for example. Like, that has a varying degree of difficulty, but at the same time, you can always just save scum it. So, it might be too much pepper. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, finally. I swear my oil was on 320 for approximately forever, but now we're finally climbing. Set these guys aside for now. All right, I think we might be being a bit risky here, but I'm just going to add the rest of these. I can't do it. We're gonna have to do it in another batch. I am so sorry, guys. But my oil's gonna get too cold. I'm gonna overcrowd it. Yeah, we'll let those go for about another 5 minutes. In the meantime, yeah, I'm gonna start toasting bread. As you guys might recall, I mentioned that I made buns and failed. I also promised I was going to go to the store this morning to get buns, but I'm lazy, so bread. Honestly, not even like a bad choice, because have you ever had like a burger on Texas toast? It's fantastic. This isn't Texas toast, as you might have noticed, but it's what I got. If nothing else, I'll double up on bread. Carbs are the lifeblood that I run on. I don't know, man. I think Provolone's a pretty good grilled cheese. Provolone, Munster, Gouda, all good cheeses to put on a grilled cheese sandwich. Like American, you know, it's the classic. Everyone loves it, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, I don't know. If you're eating a grilled cheese sandwich with just American cheese on it, I feel like you're not living up to your full potential. Yeah, I've been doing nothing but washing my hands for the past 5 hours, just dropping them. Buns don't make the burgers, I make the burgers. Also, I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I have to disagree. Like, the buns are like, you know, obviously if it's bad, that's going to ruin the whole experience for me, but if it's just mid, I probably still would say, oh, this is a really good burger. And all my favorite fast food burgers, it's not because of the bread, it's all the other stuff on there. A burger just is a sandwich, even with buns. What, if you put peanut butter and jelly on a bun, all of a sudden it's not, it's still a sandwich. I am glad Texas toast gets the pass, because you know it is just, it's better than regular bread. It's hard to describe. You just gotta know, man. Yeah, I know what you mean. When I'm eating my burgers on Texas toast, I'm putting on that lo-fi beats to snack to. Is that a playlist already? It should be. everyone's favorite cut of fry? You a shoestring person? You a steak cut man? As you might have noticed, the fries that I'm putting together, these are some thick fellas. That's just because of the application. Because again, these are being used for poutine. And, you know, poutine, you need a fork fry. You know, something that you can easily stab your fork into. Because, you know, no one's going in bare hands on a big old plate of poutine. Or at least they should, in my humble opinion. Right. And we wait for that oil to get back up to 10. Nah. I'm just looking for stuff to do. I can't just stand around here and be like, yep, that's oil heating up. I think I'm beginning to understand why most cooking shows aren't live. Because this shit, boring. That's something really hot. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. I'm back. You know, it's just, you can't handle the heat. Get naked. I haven't read anything since the, I think I mentioned that last book that I read that I hated. Yeah, I'm looking at mangas to read. I've gotten a few suggestions recently. I don't know, it's just like Chainsaw Man sounds good, and I kind of wanted to check out Fire Punch, because that's something that I like. I don't know, so I like comparing Neon Genesis to Gurren Lagann. What about you, chat? Recommend me a book. Recommend me a novel. Recommend me a movie. Just recommend me something. I swear, it's like all I do anymore is not appreciate other people's work. Ocean's 11 recruiting a homeless girl to kill. I assume you meant God, using metals as the pep. That's Mistborn? What the? That doesn't make sense. That's not words. Yeah, so the recipe is called poutine on the Ritz, which means at the very end of this mess, I'm going to crumble some Ritz crackers. I don't know if it's actually going to add anything or if they just realized that the pun doesn't work. But then why isn't it called Ritz on the poutine? It's a hell of a time skip. 300 years? That's not how that works. At this point, not to sound rude, but I do have my reasons. I kind of hope Mr. Producer doesn't come out of his room because he has a very excitable dog that the thought of her running around out here, jumping on me and what have you while I have hot oil is just terrifying. Oh dear God, it's already been almost an hour. Mm. Man, I knew it. I thought about doing this part, the first fry, again, a couple days back, and then, I would just show you guys the last fry. Let's put on the done side. But, laziness set in, and I only bought the 1 quart of oil, and I didn't know about keeping just a quart of oil around for a couple of days. I feel like it would have gotten thrown out. But, you know what? I'm way too down this episode. This whole thing is just a big learning experience, right? That's how we know for next time. Do more prep work. It was just nice last week because there really wasn't any prep work to be done. It was ground sausage, and McBeans. I could do that in my sleep. All right. Well, that was invigorating. You know, it's just like one thing because, like, I'm like, oh, I'm streaming. I shouldn't be watching TV or anything like that while cooking. But let's see here. What more am I? Warhammer. I mean, I'm a big goofy guy, so the 40k orcs are always going to appeal to me. But the concept that the power of belief works for them is just so genius, you know? Like, I can't believe no one thought of that before, where, like, a group's superpower is just whatever they truly believe comes true. What else? I mean, the whole design aesthetic of 40k is, like, so over the top edgy that it comes around to being hilarious. Like, the Battle Sisters and their whole deal, mobile bases resembling church organs, like, come on. I unfortunately don't know too much about Age of Sigmar, but that's just because everything I know about 40k comes from a certain somebody. Yeah, I read Way of Kings. I forget what the second one is called, like Oath of, or no, Ways of Radiance, I think it was. And I started that one, but unfortunately I didn't finish it all in like one sitting. And that's my problem with like reading books. It's like I either have to finish it within a week of starting or I'm never going to finish it. Because I can't just put a book down for a couple days and come back to it. I don't know what it is. My brain's just like, well, we can't start in the middle. Start over. Way of Kings was good. Words of Radiance, right. I don't know, man. They always talk about how good the Brando Sando world building is, and I'm always just like, oh, what? No way. This bitch got to cover up her left hand. I mean, don't get me wrong. Way of Kings was good, but I mean, it's not like earth-shatteringly good, as some people make it out to be. I mean, I like the whole part where, like, you made an engaging story out of a boy that has to lift a bridge. That part's fun. It was all the other stuff that I was kind of like bogged down with. I didn't much care for most of the other stories. Like, Isn't there one character whose whole thing is he's just pissy because his uncle's armor is stinky? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll give it another look. Ugh, but it's even worse with series because it feels like, oh, well, I gotta read the last book so I remember everything. This is why, like, in general, like, when I'm reading, like, comics or mangas, or even, like, watching shows, I prefer stuff that's kind of already finished. So that way I can just completely take in the whole story and I'm not left, blue balls waiting for the rest of it to come out. Okay. I was worried my power kicked off. But hey, did you guys like how I had this stuff already chopped? That's something, right? Maybe I'll check it out at my local library. I have books checked out from the library, and I figured I would have gotten the email saying, hey, turn these in, please. But I haven't, and it feels like it's been a weirdly long time. That being said, though, the library that I frequent has recently moved to a brand new building. So maybe that's just it. Maybe I could just keep these books and they'll never know. Man, not gonna lie, I kind of stopped following JoJo's super hard. I still need to watch part 6 even. I know everyone's like, yo, part 7, so good, so good. Maybe I'll read that one. The problem is, I used to have a job where I spent most of my days waiting for stuff to happen, and in the meantime was just like on a computer doing whatever. But now, my current job is I don't have a computer, and it's one of those like, oh, you got time to lean, you got time to clean, and I hate that. So and then when I come home, it's like, oh, I could read or do anything else. And anything else usually wins. What can I say? I'm that millennial loser with a short attention span. Speaking of watching stuff on Netflix, that 90s show's out. And quick question, if someone can help me out. Did that 70s show have a laugh track too? Because I don't remember it. But that 90s show can't get enough of the laugh track. Like, I said to one of my friends, like, it feels like it should be like a Disney Channel or Nickelodeon sitcom. It doesn't feel like that 70s show at all. Which would be fine, except, if it wanted to do its own thing, sure, whatever. But at the same time, it also really wants to be like that 70s show. Like, okay, so you remember there's a character named Kelso in that 70s show. Well, Kelso's his last name. I don't know what his first name is, sorry. But he has a child who's one of the main characters of this show. And, he's just Kelso, but again. Also, the actors they cast, I don't know what it is, but they all feel so much younger than any of the cast in the original show. Like, even, what's her face? Mila Kunis. I think she was actually only 17 when they started filming. And I'm sure, actually, I haven't really looked it up. But literally, most of this cast looks like they're like teenagers, which I guess they're supposed to. Like the original series, they were high schoolers, but I don't know, something about it kind of obviously being played by 20-year-olds made it more amusing to me. All right, oil is ready to rock again. And this is a pretty small batch that I have left, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long for that oil to get back up to temp. And who knows, maybe I'll just do like half of this at the higher temp, just get it done, fry up the burger real quick so I can stop streaming and you guys can go about your day. You know, on the one hand, I read somewhere it's like a big no-no. Like if you're gonna consistently stream, you have to stay on schedule, otherwise you'll piss everyone off. But you know, I'm a busy guy. I got stuff to do tonight, and you know, I'm glad I'm just like not doing this, worried about getting to my other stuff on time. Okay, let those go. Well, that's just not going to work. See, this is kind of like where my problems lie. Like, I don't know, 4 patties all in the same small pan. Like, I'm going to get so much grease built up in there, it's going to be gross. I could cook it with my back turned, y'all, but that also means having my back turned to this grease, which honestly, I shouldn't have greasy burgers going next to hot oil anyway. So, I guess we're stuck together, waiting. See, I like cooking, but this always has been and probably always will be my least favorite part. It's just the amount of waiting. I'm a horribly impatient person. Whenever I mess up a recipe, it's generally because I got too impatient and didn't let stuff take enough time. Whoops. Let me double check what the theme for next week is. 52 weeks, challenge. Oh no, I was wrong. Next week's theme is mustard. Oh man. Well, I think I might have mentioned last week, or one of y'all mentioned it, but the possibility of making my own brats or something, and then making my own mustard to put on there, which could be fun. Also, I just don't know what else to put on mustard, or how else to use mustard other than as a condiment. Generally when they give you a specific food or ingredient, I like trying to make that the central piece of the dish, kind of like with cabbage. It wasn't called cabbage stir fry, but it was cabbage stir fry. Wow, it's almost like I only get 2 people commenting in here. My big dog has got a big itch on his eyes. You guys would tell me if you saw someone sneaking up on me with a knife, right? I feel like we're good enough friends. You would say something? All right. This might be my most controversial take ever, but I think The Witcher 3 is just okay. Yeah. Obviously there's nothing bad with it or wrong with it, but I just can't help but, I don't know, I've tried playing it a few times. Every time I'm playing it, I'm just I don't know, everything just feels too clunky to me. People talk about, from what I've seen, everyone pretty much agrees. Yeah, the main character, he controls butt, he controls duty. But my thing is people seem so willing to forgive that when 80% of the game is going to places. Also, can I for one just say I am really sick of this recent game trend where every game now has this moment where you're oh, activate detective mode so you can follow a trail. Be honest, people, is that really any better than those tailing missions we always claim to hate? Because, it's the same thing. You're following a path given to you. The only difference is now you gotta go to a stupid, blurry vision of the world so you can follow some trail. It's God, tell me where to go, or make the trail actually, I don't know, difficult to follow. Make it so I have to use my eyeballs to see the trail. Don't just give it to me. I don't know, something. But anyway, now that these are all par fried, we're going to let the oil get up to 375, and then we'll fry them. Yeah, fry them. I did, and those were always the worst parts of those games. Detective vision was cool when you were using it to scope out an area and plan the best way to take out everyone. But it was lame when you were walking through hallways going, yep, this sure looks like the way to go. Why did I open this? I'm just going to keep snacking on them until I have nothing left. Oh shit. Get out of here, little fella. Oh boy. So now I'm waiting for the oil to heat up again, except now it needs to get even hotter. I'm just tired of standing all the time, you know? Well, the reason I'm doing the early stream is because generally I like to get up early and then I'll start, prepping for this. The problem is I get it already pretty early, and then the rest of the time is me just waiting to start for some arbitrary reason. So I just decided, screw it, let's just get this out of the way and I can have the rest of the day to hang out. Honestly, Sundays are so cruel because you just spend the whole day thinking about like, how am I supposed to spend the last free day I have before going back to work? That's why Saturdays are goated because, obviously you don't have that kind of pressure because you have Sunday. So oily. Look how fat this guy is. Look at him. He's huge. Okay. Climbing that corporate ladder. I imagine changing careers from that bullshit
bullshit to upload something a little less bullshit. Actually, I shouldn't swear too much because I want to get into the field of education. And, if anyone finds those, I bet I get very many jobs. But yeah, that's me, man. Just doing work. If you know me, you know that I like writing projects. Well, I like starting writing projects. Not so good at finishing them part. So recently I'm kind of like trying to get away from that a little bit, going back into something more in line with my eventual career goals. So lately it's just been a lot of recording stuff, sending out applications for stuff, or just kind of waiting to hear back from stuff. Hopefully it's soon-ish. Sooner. Okay. My roommate's been rewatching Community lately. And I just keep saying, like, oh, this episode, this one's one of my favorites, but half of the episodes that I'm on. Okay, let's be real for a moment. I keep doing this nonsense. It kind of feels like a lot. Well, simultaneously it feels like a lot, and yet it also feels really small and stupid. I don't know, man. I just thought it'd be fun. Maybe I set some pressure on myself. Like, I'm just over here like, oh, I gotta be entertaining, I gotta be informative, I gotta be something. At the end of the day, all I'm really doing is just following along with the rest of it. You can find, just do it yourself. I'm gonna break new ground here. I think we're officially coming up on the longest stream yet. And boy, I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's a dog in the other room, and she loves to whine. She's done it pretty consistently throughout this entire thing. I don't know, man. I like rogues. Rogues are fun. I've played a few bards, but honestly, maybe it's just because I never got to play one to a high enough level to actually do the whole caster thing. Sounds really dumb, but I put in an application to join a D&D group. The only problem is now I'm in this Discord, and everyone just has so many questions. It's like,
Yes. She sure does love the sound of her own voice. Ooh. Ugh. Just waiting for this oil to hit temp. Before it was at 325, but now we need to get it up to 375. And as you might recall, in between each batch, it always took a little bit for it to get back up to 325. So now we're waiting for it to get even hotter. Honestly, I'm getting to wonder if my little cooktop here was the move. But at the same time, I just don't feel comfortable like having anything back here, just because I can't see it, can't keep an eye on it. Always got to monitor that. Oh! Is there any soups with mustard? I could go for another soup, maybe. Mustard soup just sounds like a gross concept, though, so probably not. Maybe I'll just make a
a chicken breast marinated in mustard. Just waiting for that final product. It's gonna be good. Like, you might have noticed, I've taken some nibbles at these fries and gravy, and already I'm just like, oh, when these all come together, it's gonna be a beefy paradise, some might say. I don't know. Maybe this will be the last live stream. I'll still be cooking every week, but maybe we'll just try to do the edited video thing. Because honestly, this is ridiculous. I kind of want to just like stop now, but we finish when we start here at the ORB Labs. Oh god. That's what I was thinking. Water and mustard. That's how you make soup. But again, that sounds gross. Just imagining the mustard soup with like little bits of hot dog floating in it. I don't know where Chicagoans get off telling me that I shouldn't put ketchup on my hot dog. That's all I've ever put on hot dogs. And you know what? I'm not saying like nothing else goes good on a hot dog. I like a hot dog with mustard. I like a hot dog with chili and cheese, but why not ketchup? Ketchup's good. Ketchup's delicious. I get all these. I see so many of these people going around me like, oh yeah, ketchup doesn't belong on a burger. It doesn't belong on a hot dog. You should dip your fries in mayo. It's like, why? What did ketchup do to you? We are almost there. We are at 360. We've got a whole circle. And then, once these fries are done, it'll be like another 5 minutes to make burgers, and then another 5 minutes for you to watch me put it together. I like ranch. Ranch goes good with plenty of stuff. I don't know. I haven't done it in a while, so maybe I just need to rekindle my love. I don't do pizza and ranch so much anymore, but I think it's just because most places they give you that garlic butter for dipping. And there was a time where I was like dipping pizza in just garlic and butter. That's not a sauce, but you try it, and then you try to justify it to yourself. You're like, oh wait, people dip crab and lobster in straight butter. It's not that weird. But I don't know. I always just feel like once I'm eating pizza, which already isn't great for you, and then it just gets straight buttered, it's like, man, my poor heart didn't ask for any of this, and here I am abusing the poor guy. But yeah, pizza and ranch is good. I grew up on that, I'm from the Midwest, which, it's kind of a meme. At least it is at the time of streaming. If you're coming back to watch this in like 5 years, it might not be relevant at all. Now that we're getting close enough, I'm just gonna kind of separate these into 2 batches. So that way I know which ones are done. Luckily this last bit, like, it should only take a minute per batch about, so. Once I get the first batch done, we'll be cooking, baby. Just trying to decide if it's worth maybe, like, once that's done, transferring this back there so I can just quickly make the burgers and get out of here. And then I'll just finish off the second batch later. That's probably what I'll do. Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Bowl for tossing fries and seasoning. I need to clip my fingernails. This is ridiculous. It's just so annoying, you know, guys? Like, of all the hygienic processes, it's just like clipping the nails just seems the most tedious to me. Because, like, honestly, it's not even like my nails get that dirty if I don't. It's just annoying. It's aggravating having long nails. But you know what's even worse? Clipping your toenails. Especially if you're not cut. Like, I've got a little bit of a belly on me. And, like, just bending down to clip toenails, it's like, more than anything, it's a stark mirror being held up to me, being like, hey, this, you know, would make this a lot easier, diet and exercise, and it's like, shut up, toenails. I told you I'll move it after I get this first batch done. Plus, I need it, it's because it's shit hot. Oh, you're so close. I can't wait to finally have the first fry, so concoction just explodes in that. That's gonna be exciting. Wow, almost 2 hours of here.
Holy Toledo, it's ready. The world is ready, people. Kind of want these fries to be a little bit on the done side, because again, the intention is for these guys to just get smothered in gravy. And, I don't want them to immediately become soggy. Like, obviously it's going to happen eventually. We're all going to become soggy one day, but, I'd like just a little bit of time to enjoy the crispy side of things. It's going to be my new book, The Crispy Side of Things, where I just talk, it's a self-help book. I teach you, yes, you, how to be the crispiest version of yourself you can be. Red or blue? Talking about pills? Or red versus blue?
All right, gang, we're gonna let that drain for just a second. And as promised, I'm just gonna go ahead and move this guy very carefully back here, where he'll have a nice long life, not being in my way anymore. All right, we're gonna turn the heat down on this just a skosh. Boom, and boom, touch of oil. Let's get that spread around just a tiny bit. What's y'all's favorite Mario game, huh? All right. Take these fellas, get them in our bowl. Just throw them on the wire rack there for a sec so we could ideally get some of that excess oil out. But we're not looking to get them stone cold Steve Austin here. We still need a little heat, a little oil to help our seasoning stick. And I add just about half of the spice mixture from before. You remember it. Toss. No. Oh no! And try one of these. Ooh. Oh. Oh, Brian is put up. Just a little bit of salt. Because honestly, did you think we were going to go a whole video without me adding salt to something? Mmm. Oh yeah. That's going to be delightful once it's covered in gravy. Mmm. All right. It's beef time, baby. Good enough. Can we fit? I think we can. Just gonna get 4 of those on there. And let's see here. Ready. Some Ritz crackers for the eventual topping. I like to see a lot. I know some people disagree with the
kind of the design philosophy of making just a ton of moons everywhere, and some of them are easier to find than others. But it just makes it so like I don't know. I think it makes it more so like nothing is a waste of time. Like it's always might lead to something. Just being fun and exploring the world and just being joyful. It's a nice one. What goes good with Ritz? Because I had to get a whole box, and now I don't know what to do with the rest of these crackers once I'm done here. Oh yeah. We're on our way to Flavor Town. It's just gonna take as long as it takes to finish these burgers. What's the best cured meat? Hmm? Okay. Kind of a safe choice, but it works. Even if I wanted to do edited down videos, there's nothing I can do to fix this. The space I'm in. There's always going to be a dog whining somewhere. Because that's all I know anymore.
I've heard that Puss in Boots movie is good. Haven't seen it yet. Is it streaming yet? And if so, where? I would like to watch it. Yeah, that's my chef seal of maybe watching something. Mm. Honestly, it's starting to smell really nice. It's a good scent up in here. All right. And there you have it, finally. After all the hard work, trials, tribulations, we have a poutine on the Ritz burger. A double with just a heaping pile of poutine right next to it.
Let me just, actually, that's a bacon. I don't want to look too unflattering for the camera.
Mmm. Mmm. Okay, yeah, the amount of like seasoning coming through on the fries is verging on the edge of being too much, but then you get a bite of like the cheese curds, which if you haven't, you can get like seasoned cheese curds that are just so much better. They don't have to for this recipe. The fries are pulling double duty. They season themselves, the cheese, even the gravy a little bit. Like it's all just coming together into a nice little meaty soup in your mouth. Let's try the dang old burger. If I can even get a bite in my mouth here. Now, it's probably just because, I've had it back there on the burner to help it keep warm because you want it to be warm when it gets on there to melt your cheese curds a little bit. But I think if you let it sit for a little bit, thicken up, more of it might stay on that burger. It's just hard because obviously with, once you put like beef gravy from a bag on your burger, the burger's just going to be beefy already. It doesn't need the beef gravy so much. The cheese curds are nice. Instead of getting that stretch, it gets more of a chewiness in there with the beef. But the Ritz, I don't know if they add anything. I personally, they kind of just taste like someone was talking to you while they had a mouthful of crackers and some they got on your dish. But that has been this week. Thanks for sticking around. Peace.